Hey guys, welcome to my first long form video. Say hi to Nifty. This is Nifty for NFT. This is a non-fungible cat. Um, yeah, so welcome to my first long form video. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been creating a lot of short form videos, right? So reels, TikToks, etc., which all of you love, right? And that is very inspiring. I am not a content creator. I don't think myself as a content creator or an influencer. Uh, I spend 70-80% of my time, behind my business, right? Um, and that's something that I'm good at. I'm not very good at talking to the camera, so I thought I should start practicing by creating all of this content. So the challenge with short form videos such as reels or TikToks is that it's very hard to get a complex idea across in 1 minute. It you know I do a lot of things. I edit a lot of my ums and ahs and buts. I speed up my voice by 5% or 10%, trying to fit everything in within 1 minute, but it's still very hard. So I thought, hey, let me experiment with long form videos. Let me try to talk about something that I've been researching slash looking over the last couple of weeks, something that is very inspiring and also sort of scary to me, right? And get that across to you in a much longer video. So this is my first of the long form videos. Hopefully you guys are going to like it. Hopefully you guys are going to like just me talking to the camera for the next 20 to 30 minutes, right? So what I'm going to talk about today is really about AI, right? Something that I've been looking into, researching over the last couple of weeks, and something that has really sort of changed how I think about technology as a whole. So first let's start off with a little bit of background, right? ChatGPT, I'm sure by this time everyone over here who is watching this video has probably used it, right? I'll be very surprised if you haven't, because this is the first app ever to go to 100 million users within 2 months. This is the most successful product launch of all time. Comparatively, it took TikTok 13 months to get there. It took WhatsApp 49 months to get there. And fun fact, it took telephone 75 years to get there, to get to 100 million users. So that is how fast technology has progressed. That is how fast technology has progressed, that that you get hands on new technology so fast. And post the ChatGPT release, there has been a mania around it. What's interesting to note over here is that GPT-3 as a model has existed since 2020, right? And a few companies actually had access to it, and we're building other companies on top of this, right? So copy.ai is one of them, jasper.ai is another, where these tools would help you create marketing copies, or write articles, or rewrite articles, or summarize things, right? So people were already using it, but with ChatGPT, which is distinct from GPT-3, the model gave users a new interface, right? It gave users a new interface in which they can give ChatGPT, GPT-3, complex instructions. And whether it's rewriting an email, whether you're talking to it, whether you're playing a game with it, whether you're asking it to write a rap music in the style of Eminem, talking about Nifty the cat chasing its tail, or any all of these variations, right? And it's impressive to the point that 50% of YC companies, Y Combinator companies, which are of the December batch, were an AI related company. হ্যাঁ, and I don't know তোমরা কি প্রোডাক্ট হান্ট দেখো কিনা. I'm a very big fan of product hunt, where there is a new where they focus on new products every single day. It felt like 70% or 80% of new products that were coming out were AI related, right? So there's definitely sort of an AI mania. Yeah. Now, when we're talking about intelligence, it's probably a good idea to sort of step back and think about, what is intelligence. Intelligence, এখানে আমি দুইটা জিনিস নিয়ে কথা বলতে চাই. Number one is, I'm sure you've heard of this term called artificial general intelligence, AGI. So এই GPT মডেলদেরকে আমরা AGI বলে থাকি. Specifically, they are a large language model, but an AGI is a concept, which means something that is good at a lot of different things, right? So let's say, as an example, there is a chimpanzee, right? And a chimpanzee is pretty smart compared to a baby, right? It can do tools, it can try to talk to each other, it has a culture, it has a society. A baby doesn't have it, right? But a human baby, can learn a lot of things. It can learn to be a doctor, it can learn to be a lawyer, it can learn to be a software engineer, right? And then it can do heart transplants, it can do learn about aerodynamics, it can create aeroplanes, it can create rockets, it can go to the moon, right? A human is a lot more general in this sense than a chimpanzee is, although they're both smart, right? A chimpanzee is a lot more general than a dog. A dog is much more general than a chicken, right? They're all intelligent in their own way. But because you can learn a lot of different sort of specialized fields, right? And you can combine things from specialized fields. So for example, you can combine aerodynamics and structural engineering and jet propulsion, and rocket science and nuclear physics or whatever to go to the moon, right? Now you can go to the moon, right? A chimpanzee can do that, even though we can all agree that a chimpanzee is very smart. An artificial general intelligence is a machine, it's artificial, it's non-human, right? Which is also good at general intelligence. It's not good at one thing, it's good at a lot of different things, right? Super intelligence basically means that something which is smarter than anything that any human can think of, right? So not a lot of examples of it right now, but let's think about chess, right? So it took humans a very long time to create different chess models, such as I think it was Deep Blue which beat Garry Kasparov, or Stockfish, which created these chess engines, massive chess engines, which were better decision makers at chess than any chess player is, right? So if I am playing against a Stockfish, right, and it makes a chess move, I know that is the most optimal chess move out there, right? No chess move that I can make is going to be better than that chess move, right? All of those chess moves is going to be worse than whatever Stockfish has created. right? That is super intelligence. It's better at me at chess, full stop. It's better at chess than any humans is. Our example of a super intelligence is AlphaGo, which was created by, I think, DeepMind from Google's lab. And Go is a much more complex game than chess, but it figured out to be better at Go than any human is, right? It can beat all humans. So that's super intelligence. So again, like artificial general intelligence is a different thing than super intelligent, which is better at us than everything versus knows a lot of things, knows everything. Now, when GPT-3 came out, I thought, hey, this is very cool. I even made a video out of this. A lot of repetitive tasks, GPT-3 can probably do better than humans or faster than humans. Things like customer support, which is effectively just তোমার কোম্পানির নলেজ বেসটা বের করে ঘেটে দেখা যে ওকে এই ইউজারের এই প্রবলেমটা হইতেছে তাহলে এই সলিউশনটা দেওয়া অ্যান্ড গিভিং দ্যাট ইনফরমেশন ইন আ ন্যাচারাল ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ. But then GPT-4 got released, right? Now remember, GPT-3 was available since 2020. GPT-4 is a brand new launch, right? And obviously ChatGPT এর মধ্যে এটা এসে পড়ছে. And GPT-4 showed a lot better reasoning, lot better creativity, lot better nuance than GPT-3 does, right? So, for example, this is a question that you ask both GPT-3 and 4. For 3, you ask, give it a riddle. Hey, in a room, there are 100 murderers. You kill one of them. How many murders are left? And GPT-3 is like, hey, if 100 murderers are, in a room, you kill one of them, there are 99 murderers. Right? This is sort of a riddle that most humans will also get wrong because they haven't really thought it through. But you see, you give the same question to GPT-4 and it has better thinking. It's like, okay, you know what? If there's 100 murders, you kill one of them, then there's still 100 murderers in the room because you are one of the murderers now. Right? So these are the type of reasoning skills that GPT-4 has shown. Now this is a very simple example. Microsoft Microsofter কয়েকজন মিলে they made a research paper called Sparks of AGI, where they did experiments with GPT-4. Now this also came out a couple days ago, but I'm sure that because the Microsoft team had access to GPT-4 for longer, and this is sort of the report. Right? I'm not going to go through it. It's 154 pages long. There is a link which I'm going to leave below as well, where in this YouTube video they go through the 15 different revelations, 15 major ones. But over here they ran GPT-4 across a lot of different things, right? যে এটার কোডিং করতে পারে কি না, রাইট? কোডিং চ্যালেঞ্জ সলভ করতে পারে কি না, রিয়েল ওয়ার্ল্ড সিনারিও আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করতে পারে কি না, what kind of mathematical abilities does it have, right? What sort of tools it can use, how does it interact with humans, what are the limitations of it. এটা নিয়ে বেশ বড় একটা রিপোর্ট, right? I'm going to leave a link, you can read through, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in the next few minutes. But this is sort of groundbreaking because it shows that hey, GPT-4 as a model is showing some indications of an AGI. It's not saying that it is an AGI. It's saying that it has sparks of an AGI. Some of the things are like pretty smart. So let me just focus on a few of those things, right? Over here, right? So things that I have specifically been very impressed by. So so one of the things in GPT-3 is that its ability to use tools or plugins. So in this example, G, you know, GPT, you are going through the, you can have these plugins, and if you, let's say you give it this example, someone is giving the examples with these plugins enabled, right? So the example is that, hey, I want to eat vegan food in San Francisco. Can you give me a great restaurant suggestions? List down the recipes, calculate ওই রেসিপির ক্যালোরি কত, and order its ingredients on Instacart. So it's a very complex instruction. So what does GPT-4 does? It, number one, it finds a restaurant, right? It gives you a link to it. It finds you what, food, or the recipe for a vegan salad. It calculates your calories by going to Wolfram Alpha. And finally, it orders those ingredients through Instacart, which is sort of like a chalal. There. So all you have to do now is press order, and it orders, which is mind-blowing, right? It uses external tools. OpenAI can also now browse. আগে এটা browse করতে পারতো না। আগে it was only confined to data that was available in until 2021. But now because it can browse, so it can জিজ্ঞেস করছে, hey, এই বছরের অস্কার যারা পাইছে এবং can you compare it to their box office sales? So it's not just asking you to just go to a website and summarize it. I'll pause over here. It went to multiple websites and then it synthesized that information. It created sort of a report based on multiple links, right? So it's doing complex tasks on it. And finally, this one I think is most impressive, এখন এটা নিয়ে খুব বেশি মানুষ কাজ করেনি, which is it has memory. You can give it specific memory, right? So in this example, someone has given it the memory from United Nations. United Nations data dump করে দিছে, তারপর জিজ্ঞাসা করলো a question based on that United Nations data. It then creates a report or an answer, and it answers you that, right? Now this memory thing, it can be anything. It doesn't just need to be a memory of United Nations. It can be, imagine it's your Google Drive of your work, or your social media profiles, right? Then you ask it a question that, hey, when did I last, wish my best friend, or when is my best friend's birthday? It can go through your social media, find out who your best friend is, find out where his birthday is. You can ask a question like, oh, আমার best friend's birthday আমি কি gift দিব, right? And go to your best friend's social profile, synthesize that information, find a gift that you can give to that person, right? So the possibilities really are endless and also sort of scary. I'm going to go through some of that as well. Now that's just tools and plugins. Now you can think of, I said that, hey, GPT-4 is a large language model. It basically, the way it works, it processes a lot of information, a lot of data on the web, and then it gives you an output. It does some deep learning, and then it gives you an output. Don't ask me what deep learning is. I don't know it or understand it myself very well. But what it has also been very good at is programming, right? So in this example, someone uploaded a MP4 file, a video file. Yeah, and the person asked that, hey, can you extract the first 5 seconds of this video file? And then OpenAI writes a Python script, and then it generates a Python script, then it executes it, right? And then it gives you an output in the form of that video file. Remember, the question was, can you get me the first 5 seconds of this file? Python script run kore, it gives you the first 5 seconds of that file, and then you can just download it. Think about it. Why will you need to download a software to help you do a task when the AI can make the software and do the task for you? I love this other example. This is from the founder of Replit.
Make me an app that lets me record my workouts and publish them. Okay.
Run.
Oh my god! Oh, that is
That's
badass.
amazing.
5x5. Okay.
Look at this! That's amazing!
Wow.
You can just speak to the AI and it creates a custom software for you, specifically for your need. This is another example.
Make me a P5.js app that uses my webcam with cool effects. Oh, whoa, it did work.
Whoa, that's really cool.
Oh. Whoa, that's awesome.
So it's a complex app. It's not just, oh, আমার log রাখো। বলছে তুমি এই JavaScript লাইব্রেরিটা ইউজ করে তুমি এই সফটওয়্যারটা বানাও, and it does it. Why do you need software engineers anymore? I'm not kidding. Remember in that research paper, Sparks of AGI, the researchers ran GPT-4 through mock technical exams of Amazon, and it got 100%, right? এবং লিখে দিয়েছে GPT-4 could potentially be hired as a software engineer. Imagine how crazy that is. Last example. So
we want to control Spot using our board.
So Spot is a robot, a very dynamic and advanced robot by Boston Robotics. And what these guys did was hook up GPT-4 and Whisper. Whisper is a text-to-speech and speech-to-text library also created by OpenAI directly into the robot. So এতদিন পর্যন্ত এই রোবটটাকে কন্ট্রোল করা হতো either mostly through a human with a remote control. Yeah. But now you can just give it an instruction.
So we can use the Whisper model to transcribe our voice in real time and extract text from speech. Turn right. And then we can take that speech and translate it into commands that we can send to Spot through his SDK. Move back. We can say like undock and then go check out the gauges. Hey Spot, undock. Let's take a thermal reading on that motor. Let's dock.
That was pretty cool. That's it.
I don't know if that was just pretty cool, but that was pretty scary. So Bill Gates wrote this article called "The Age of AI," where he says, "Hey, in my lifetime, I've seen two demonstrations of technology that struck me as revolutionary. First time was in 1980 when he was introduced to graphical user interface. Now, if you don't remember, graphical user interface is how we communicate with all our computers and all our phones right now, right? There is a mouse, we click something. Before graphical user interface, we used to give commands. We used to go to, command prompt, go to like C drive, write, open this file. We had to write everything, right? And it was just in a screen that we used to do it. AI is revolutionary in a lot of ways, and he goes through a lot of these different things, but I think it's also very interesting as a user interface, right? Now, think about the different tools that we just saw. Think about how we use some of those tools today, right? So let's say today, you need to go, you're in office, you need to go home. How do you go, right? You probably have both the Pathao app and the Uber app installed in your phone. You would go to, let's say, Pathao or Uber, and then you would put in your home location. You would check কোনটার পিকআপ কোনটার প্রাইস বেশি অথবা কম, কোনটা কত দূরে আছে, হ্যাঁ, and based on how fast is the pickup or what is the price, you place a request on either of those apps, right? That takes some effort because you are going through the app, clicking a lot of buttons, making a mental processing যে আচ্ছা এই অ্যাপে এটা 250 টাকা, ওই অ্যাপে 270 টাকা, আমি 270 টাকাতে তাও যাব কারণ হচ্ছে এটা আরও ফাস্টার, হ্যাঁ, এরকম একটু মেন্টাল ম্যাথ তাও করে তারপরে উই প্লেস আ রাইড রিকোয়েস্ট. But in a world where you can instruct an AI to call you a ride, would you do all of those things? Or would you just go and say that, hey, I want to go home by 7 o'clock, find me the cheapest ride, but I need to go home by 7 o'clock latest. And then the AI does all of those calculation and it finds you that right. Does it, you don't care if it's Pathao or Uber, right? You care about the time and the price. And that is the calculation that AI will do, right? That interface is no longer needed. So, so Bill Gates thinks that, hey, it's the most revolutionary thing since Squeak. I want to go a step further. I want to say this is the most revolutionary thing since fire, right? Why? Look, what is it that made us so different from all the animals in animal kingdom? What made we are not the strongest human beings. We are not the fastest. We don't have furs that protect us in the winter. We can't breathe underwater for more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time maximum. We cannot fly. We don't have beaks. We don't have claws. But human beings are different because we can create tools. We can create fire to keep us warm. We don't need fur. We can create wheels to go to some place faster, to carry more things. We don't need to be fast. Humans are intelligent. That is one thing we can all agree on. That is the one thing that makes humans the apex predator, right? Our ability to create tools and have that general level of intelligence. What happens when a machine is better at thinking than we are? What happens when a machine is better at executing than us? এই যে এইসব টুলসের কথা বললাম, ধরো ফায়ার হতে পারে, ল্যাপটপ হতে পারে, আমার ফোন হতে পারে, একটা রিক্সা হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে? Those are tools that humans have created. Printing press, humans have created, right? Now machines can create tools. Machines can use tools. At no other point before all of this were machines able to think and reason and do things. Now they can. This is going to have a massive impact for everyone. Full stop. Right? You may not see it, you may not think of it, but it will. The guys who created that Sparks of AGI research paper made this, made this table about kon jobs would be most affected by this, right? It doesn't mean that it's going to take away your jobs. They are saying that it's going to be most affected by it, right? I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'm going to give you something to sort of think about, right? Do you need tools or knowledge anymore if you can dictate to the machine, right? So আগে ধরো আমার ফটোশপ লাগতো, কারণ হতেছে লেটস আমার একটা ছবি ক্রপ করতে হবে, অথবা ইভেন মোর কমপ্লেক্স থিংস, যে আমার একটা ছবির মধ্যে there is some wires or birds and I have to erase it, right? Do I need to do that anymore? Do I need to even use Photoshop? People are very excited by Adobe Firefly. Yeah, you can generate all of this. But think of a step further, when you can just upload an image into it and say that, hey, can you remove the birds from this picture? And the AI writes a script, executes the script, locates the bird, removes the bird, and gives you the final output. Do you even need to download Photoshop anymore? Do you need to I don't know, like think of let's say lawyers, right? A lawyer has to read a lot of legal papers, legal documents, and then give you an opinion, right? That's what lawyers essentially do. Yeah. If I can just give my AI this memory plugin, and give it access to all research papers out there, right? Legal papers out there, all laws out there, and say that, hey, give me an opinion about this particular thing, and it does it. Do you need lawyers anymore? That is a scary thought, right? OpenAI, whether they knowingly or unknowingly, they have created the most dominant business model. They have created not just a new user interface, but they have basically made intelligence an API, right? So intelligence as a service. You just ask OpenAI to solve a problem and it does it. আগে এটা মানুষজন করতো, এখন machines do it, right? It can be a complex item. This is scary. This is scary because, and this is scaring a lot of other people. So in Twitter, I saw this one post, I really like this one, right? Which is AGI is this generation's Copernicus revolution. Now, Copernicus was someone back, I think 500 years ago, discovered that, or wrote that, hey, Earth doesn't revolve, sun doesn't revolve around the Earth, and all the stars doesn't revolve around Earth revolves around the sun. Yeah, and he got a lot of shit for it. He was prosecuted for it because he said it went against a lot of religious topics, right? যে বলছো তুমি কেন বলছো humans are not special. Yeah. The fact is that humans were not special. Humans thought they were special. Humans thought that the sun revolves around us, but now we know that we revolve around the sun. There are thousands of suns, and there are thousands of galaxies, and we are just a pale blue dot. We're a pixel, not even a pixel in the grand scheme of things, right? এখানেই আমরা জন্ম হই, এখানেই আমরা মরি. It's kind of like this. I'm getting kind of that feeling from all of this, that I'm an entrepreneur. I like solving complex problems. Yeah. What is sort of my use if a machine does it better than I do? And it will, because it's a general intelligence. It knows better than me. It's more general than I am, and it can be more super than I am if it's not today. So that is a scary thought. I'll leave with more things, but I saw this one post on on Reddit কয়েকদিন আগে, which is, hey, I lost everything that made me love my job through mid-journey overnight. So this person হচ্ছে যে was a 3D artist. He loved making 3D models. Yeah, but এখন Midjourney এসে পড়ছে, and Midjourney makes models faster than he can, and there is someone else in his office who's not as good at 3D modeling, but can just prompt Midjourney better, and it gives you the final output, and it does a better job at it to get that final output. হ্যাঁ, সো আগে যেটা ওর করতে হতো 1 সপ্তাহ লাগতো, এখন সেটা 1-2 ঘন্টার মধ্যে হয়ে যায়. So he doesn't even need to do modeling anymore, and his colleague is getting all the proshonshas, all the bahovas, because he's better. He's at that final output. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. We are going to see a lot more of this because these specific knowledges that we had, these tools that we were better at using than anyone else, are being used better by a computer, and this is going to change everything, right? So if you ask me, bhai ekhon ami ki korbo, if AI does it better than me, I don't know. Ami ki korbo bhai? It's not in my control. It's a genie. It's out of the box. There is no off button. OpenAI এর কথা অনেক বলছি এই পুরো টকে, but OpenAI is not the only one who is making this, right? They are the first at it. They are better at it than anyone. But Google is trying to do something. Google অনেক দিন ধরে রিসার্চ করতেছে. It's unfortunately very embarrassing যে ওরা actually আগে আসে না এটা নিয়ে. Or Anthropic AI, একটা firm আছে, and there's a few more firms out there which are developing and using large language models. So I was watching this one video of OpenAI CTO, chief scientist, where someone asked him that, hey, if you were not there and how do you think that these GPT-4 models would become so successful? And he said that yes, maybe সবাই এক বছর পিছনে, and this would have happened regardless of us. Why? Because of GPUs, because we are now better at processing further, faster and cheaper. The processing power has come down so much that it made artificial intelligence possible. A lot of it is just megahertz that you pump in, right? The data that you process. So again, GPT-4 came out 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. GPT-3 came out ChatGPT came out 3 months ago. I don't think people, especially people in Bangladesh, appreciate the surface area of impact that this is going to have, because ekhono we are busy making, I don't know, cyberpunk in Dhaka or things like that, right? And that's cute. I mean, I don't have anything against it, right? I just think that we are sort of missing the forest for the trees. The impact this is going to have on all of knowledge work is going to be massive. It's like the world was a certain way before 30th November 2022. It's a different way after 30th November 2022. It's just that people haven't realized it yet. I think we are in an exponential growth curve. It took us first manned flight, মানুষ প্রথমে আকাশে উঠতে পারছে 1903. If human civilizations is 20,000 years old, most of it was without planes. It took us less than 60 years, or I think 1969, I may be wrong, when we went to the moon, right? From first flight to going to the moon in less than 70 years. And now we have a version of AGI. I'm not going to say this is AGI. I'm not going to say this is better and faster and that everything, but I think it's getting there. I think it's going to improve more, and I think AGI, I think the world will change in the next 10 years, more than we know. Remember, like এখন আমরা কিন্তু ফোন ছাড়া আমরা বের হতে পারি না বাসা থেকে. The iPhone was released in 2006, less than 20 years ago. And this is, এটা ছাড়া আমরা ঘুম থেকে উঠতে পারি না, এটাকে ছাড়া আমরা অপারেট করতে পারি না. 20 years. Remember this chart প্রথমে? Now think about all the things I said and how much this can impact in the next 10 years. So I'm going to leave with one last example, right, which is this one. এটা আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি আজকে ইফতারি করতে করতে পেয়েছি, right? This is Glass AI, and this is an AI specifically modeled around medical information. So all of the medical informations, etc., has been fed into this model, and now you ask it, you give it a problem that, hey, 71-year-old male, এই ঝামেলা হইতেছে, what should the clinical plan be? It processes it and it gives you an output, right? It gives you a diagnosis. It tells you what medicine you need to give that person. It tells you কত monitor করতে হবে, and then at the end it also gives you references যে কোথা থেকে সে এই ইনফরমেশনটা পেল. So think about this, right? Again, like this is just March 24th release, আজকে 29 তারিখ. Yeah, you know, who's, you know, if you, and this person like, hey, you know, imagine this, and MD যার 20 বছরের ট্রেনিং আছে, that person is easier to replace by AI than a waiter at a street cafe. আমরা প্রথমে মনে করছিলাম যে আমাদের যে সিম্পল যেসব জব আছে সেগুলো অটোমেট হবে, বাট ইট টার্নস আউট দ্যাট এই কমপ্লেক্স জবগুলো অটোমেট আগে হয়ে যেতেছে. What is knowledge work if you take away the knowledge? Alright guys, thanks. That's for today. I hope you like this. And yeah, I'm going to leave a link to the slides at the end of this, and I hope to speak to you again, right, in a couple of weeks. Peace out, right? And do educate yourself, right? This is not a drill. This is happening right now. I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist. My wife says I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's not a conspiracy theory if it is happening right now, if it is happening today, right? Yeah, good luck.